If you ever thought it'd be fun to star in or write your own TV sitcom, then this is the show for you. Today, Scott Sedita is here. For years, he's been an actor, agent, writer, casting director. He is the author of the 8 characters of comedy. He's going to tell you how you can break into the business. He's worked with some of the biggest stars in town. Plus, Keesha Sharp is back today from Girlfriends on CW. Since she's a successful sitcom actress, she's going to tell us if Scott is telling the truth. So see, you're here to keep him honest today.
Okay, here we go.
And considering the character that she plays, she's going to keep it honest.
You don't want to mess with her,
She's going to tell it like it is.
So I'm going to start out where you start your book. Comedy is, dying is easy. No, comedy, say it for me, I can't say it.
Dying is easy, comedy is hard.
See, it is hard, it's very hard.
It is hard because, you know, you can be, in Los Angeles there's a lot of wonderful actors, and it's easier to find a dramatic actor than it is to find a comedic actor. Comedy is a craft completely different and separate from regular acting. I mean, you need to still be a wonderful actor with foundation to do comedy, but the actual craft of comedy is very different. You know, it's very different as far as learning it.
And I find,
go ahead.
And I also find that if you're a dramatic actor, it doesn't mean you can do comedy. But if you're a comedic actor, you can do dramedy. Dramedy.
Yeah.
Dramedy.
Sure,
You
no,
do that
sure.
too.
Well, and there's so much blending these days, right? The shows,
yes,
you know, you really
yes.
don't have a strict line that we use.
Absolutely. You know, as far as acting, I mean, people say, can you teach anyone to act? And the fact is no. If you don't have what I call the acting gene, the innate ability to act, to pretend, then no one can teach you to act. You know, one of the things American Idol has done in a way is show us people who want to sing or think they can sing, who have no innate ability to sing, and you can't teach them to sing.
That's true.
And the same thing is with acting. And to the left of the acting gene, I call the funny gene. You have to have the innate ability to be funny, at least if it's just a little small seed, to have a sense of humor about yourself, about life, and so that's where you start. You start with the funny gene.
Now, did you
obviously have the funny gene?
Yeah, did you think, because you said initially though, you hadn't done sitcoms though, right? You weren't sure you had the funny gene.
Well, that's the truth. I started in theater, and then I went on to do musical theater, and that's what I loved, and that's where I thought I would be. And you know, I was funny in musical theater, you know, but you know, you think, oh, it's the song, you know, and I'm feeling it. But I wasn't sure if I was scared when I did a straight play that was. There was 8 characters, and every night the audience picked which character we were going to play on off-Broadway.
Oh, wow.
And so it changed the show completely every night. Because
some kind of improv?
No, the way it was written, there were no gender-specific roles. The names were not gender-specific. But, and it was really funny piece. And I was scared that, can I do this? I've never just done a straight play that's comedy. And I found out, you know, I fed off the audience and I knew what to do and all of that, but it was because I was, now that I know, because Dr. Mann told me.
Thank God you just found out.
I had the funny seed
but once you have the funny gene, you need to then learn the craft
Yes,
of
I
it.
agree with that.
You know, you need to learn the craft of and the techniques that go along with comedic acting.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I, you know, wanted to talk about your book today, because you do go into the craft, as well as I thought, even to be honest, for the audience who, you know, just maybe if they, you know, you say you may not know what you know funny when you see it,
Yes,
but I
yes,
thought
yes.
this might give them a little food for thought about what's the craft side of it.
Right. Well,
instead
I mean,
of just
even the how to build a joke. And you know, one of the things I talk about in my book is called the turnaround, and you see that in every situation comedy. You say something with 100% conviction, and then you turn it around and go against what you just said. You know, I like your shirt, but not on you.
Yeah.
Oh, you better give me a Monica. Will you handle this for me, Monica?
That would be the
You
turnaround.
better not mess
joke.
with me. I got Monica here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and you do that all the time. You say something positive, and then the unpredictable comes, and you say something negative. I like your shirt is positive, but not on you is negative.
Yeah.
And you know, Karen from Will and Grace does that on a
All the
continual
time.
basis.
Oh, I
All
like
the
your
time.
book as a
Exactly.
weapon. How's that?
No, I really do like your shirt. No, I don't. But no, I do.
Well, actually, I didn't design it. Actually, I maybe like my shirt.
It is lovely.
And okay.
No, we're done.
Once you learn,
But how about my pants? What do you think about the jeans?
Okay. Anyway.
My God, they're both ganging up on me.
But once you learn the technique.
This is not. This is Monica. This is not Keesha.
Yeah, it's
No,
funny.
she's a funny lady.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you, you have to be, you know, I work with a lot of dramatic actors, Emmy award-winning dramatic actors who come and say, you got to teach me how to be funny in a situation comedy. One of the ways, first of all, one of the ways, first of all, is that in comedy, there's a music and there's a rhythm and timing, and the writers have written these words, and a lot of actors want to change the words. And you can't change the words because then you're changing the rhythm.
No.
Okay.
Well, in changing the words from what the writer had, you are changing. Yeah, exactly.
And that's one of the questions. That's when you're shooting live and they change a word or so, you have to run through it really quick because it's going to change the rhythm of it.
Right.
And you will find the funny may end up being somewhere else, but you do need to run it in your head because it is going to change the rhythm. Just one word, put a comma there or whatever, it's going to change the rhythm of it.
Can you give us an example? I think you did in your book of how, you know, even just throwing in a or a by the way or something can throw off the setup.
It does. It does throw it off because it's like just singing happy birthday. And if you change the rhythm or put a word into happy birthday, it will change the whole song and it won't be as good anymore. But once an actor learns that technique, or once the writer learns that technique, then you're talking about characterizations.
Yes,
and
that's true.
you know, a lot of time sitcoms or dramedies aren't the writing isn't as funny as we wish it to be on the page, but when you put a character to that, all of a sudden everything changes.
Yep.
You probably are able to take a material that is good and make it great.
Better, yeah.
And I think that the actor working with material, an actor with a good characterization can do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because you can get, and this is not necessarily Girlfriends or Everybody Hates Chris, but just in general, you can, or going out for an audition for a pilot or whatever. You get a script and you're like,
this isn't funny.
It's not funny.
How am I going to do this?
How am I going to do this? And you keep running it in your head and you keep working on it. You find, oh, I can put a reversal or
turnaround.
A turnaround right here. Oh, now it's funny. You know, it happens just like that.
Well, you just, or how a different character would approach that. How a different characterization would bring it to life.
I agree.
So two actors could obviously pick up the same line, and one could be terrible, and the other could just.
I think that's actually how I got Girlfriends, because I was so different than everybody that came in, and you know, I was told this too. It was just like, oh, you know, I just found so many different things with this character because I made it into a character.
Right.
You know. And
the only way to make it into a character, and this is the basis of my book, The 8 Characters of Comedy, is what the book does is help actors find who they organically what character they can organically gravitate towards. It's really about who are you underneath, or what you can tap into. I know that you play kind of the bitch, and mostly the materialistic bitch. But let's just take the bitch aspect of your character. You're not.
I'm loving this interview. You know,
well, the fact is that
let's just take the bitch aspect of you.
The fact is that you're not in real life that person, but somehow, somewhere in your history and in your life, you understand that character.
Yeah, that's true.
You understand that someone who's judgmental or who tells it like it is, you understand that and enjoy playing it. Where somebody else, that might not be part of their makeup.
No.
Now, Keesha, which of the 8 characters is he? Since he got to pick you, which is he?
Oh, I can tell you. It's actually similar to you. Exactly. It would probably be closer to the neurotic.
No, yes, I was going to say
neurotic.
that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, before the show, I'm neurotic, absolutely. The producer in me runs around like crazy.
Right.
So, yes,
well, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the funny thing about the 8 Characters of Comedy, you know, it is television mirrors society, but you know, as I've been going on,
extreme.
Yes, it most definitely. But as I've been going around and talking about the book, I have found that society can also mirror television when it comes to the 8 Characters of Comedy. For the fun of it, we do the 8 Characters of Comedy in your office.
Yeah.
Who in your office is the neurotic? Who in the office is the manizer or womanizer? Who in the office is the bitch bastard or the materialistic one or the one in their own universe?
And I thought it was interesting, you also make the comparison to reality TV shows and showing how...
That's how they cast.
Oh, absolutely.
They cast that way.
There's the psycho, and then there's the naive one, and then there's the womanizer, manizer. Yeah, absolutely.
Because can you imagine if they didn't cast and then they end up with all one, like all womanizer or all
there would be no conflict.
Bitch, maybe that would be interesting, but
no, then you'd get tired. They wouldn't
May the
be
best
able-
bitch win.
Like, oh, I can't watch this. This is too much. These women are terrible, or these men, or whatever. Yeah, they do cast that
Every
way.
show, one of the first character of the 8 characters of comedy is a logical, smart one, and every show needs a logical, smart character. Whether there actually is a character like that, or they just morph into that in a scene, it's because of conflict. The logical, smart one, which are usually the wives, like Patricia Heaton, Patricia Richards, all those wives to the chubby, lovable loser husbands, they are the voice of reason of the show. Will from Will and Grace is the logical, smart one. And from The Office is Jim. He's the logical, smart one. So is Pam, the logical, smart one in that show.
Up next, more with Scott and Keesha, but first we're going to take a look at Scott hosting a reality TV show. We'll be right back.
Well, she was completely gung-ho and in the moment and right there. I felt like she was probably the most inexperienced of the 4, but I felt like she just put herself right forward and went for it. Let's begin acting class, okay? The first one is really just a fun exercise. It's an emotional state. What they're looking for is that individual who has raw talent, the desire and the passion. Not bad, not bad. I like that. Simpler. Be honest, you got it. Do you believe in yourself?
I've learned a lot.
Have you?
You've taught me a lot. And
You've
look,
embarrassed me. Tell me you're good enough. You're very there in the moment, weren't you?
you don't think I feel bad?
Then tell me you feel bad.
I feel horrible.
Dominic is inexperienced.
Dominic, yeah, what happened, baby? What happened?
That was...
Dominic just tackled Jim.
We are back with Scott Sedita and Keesha Sharp from Girlfriends today. You said during the break that you saw his show, huh?
Yes, I enjoyed it. Fight for Fame.
Yes.
Fight for Fame. It was really good. The whole show was, I enjoyed it, but I like that you coaching them and finding, because a lot of these people came in raw. Without having a lot of background. So he found a way to get them
Very quickly
to get in touch. Because what happens too, if you're not a trained actor, you can get someone in touch with their inner feelings and get something out. They may not be trained, but there's something there. You can't get someone that's blank. If they're blank and they can't get in touch with something that's going on, there's a problem.
How often are they blank?
I do actually a new show called Character Fantasy, and what's interesting is mostly real people. And one of the things I try to do is really get, and one of the things I try to do in the show is give them confidence to become this fantasy character. And many times I have to find what's blocking them, if it's some sort of a hurt. So I have to kind of break them down just a little and then build them back up. And a lot of people come in and say, I am so happy with my life. I've been, have a wonderful child. I have never been sad ever. And oh God, this is going to take a while. This is going to be. And the funny thing about, I know we're talking a lot about comedy as well, is that comedy actually comes from pain.
Yes, it does.
The best comedians are comedians who have dealt with painful issues in their life, or are dealing. Stand-up comics are an interesting group of actors in a way, because I always call them the angriest group of entertainers, because they have so much angst, and that's why they're so funny. They're able to observe things and talk about them.
So you think they're a little bit angrier than the rest of us?
Yeah, I do. I think they found a way to deal with that anger.
Yes.
And that's through comedy.
Yes, absolutely. Or their pain through comedy.
Yes.
Everyone has a choice in life, either to deal with your pain and be funny, have a sense of humor about it, or be grim and not have,
Thank you. I'm glad you said that, because I wanted to just say something in favor of comedy, because sometimes, let's say for the Oscars or something, people say, oh, the drama, it's a serious movie, it's got to be. I have always loved comedy, because I think it was Saul Bellow once who said something like, you're a survivor, or the ones who can laugh, no matter what shit happens, if you can laugh and go on instead of being destroyed, I think comedy is a great art form, and I love the people who can laugh, shit happens and you laugh and go on.
It's interesting that you bring up the Oscars, because so rarely is there a comedic actor who's nominated, and so rarely is there a comedic actor who wins the Oscar, and it's really a shame, because comedy acting is if not just as difficult, more difficult than regular acting. And we don't and one of the reasons I wrote the book was to celebrate all these wonderful, gifted comedic actors, because they get great salaries and great paychecks, but they don't necessarily get their dues that a dramatic, serious actor would get. Would you agree with that?
I completely agree.
You like that idea, huh?
I do.
Yes.
I'm like, oh.
And me.
Hello.
So who are some of your favorite comic actors?
Oh gosh.
Well, from the now or
Back in the day.
From Girlfriends or from All Time.
B. Arthur,
All
I think is a
all
great.
the Golden Girls.
B. Arthur is a
them
great. Carol O'Connor was a great. Elizabeth Montgomery. You ever see Bewitched growing up?
Yes, she was really good.
She was really terrific. I love
Lucille.
Jennifer Aniston and I think Matthew Perry. I think those people in Friends were terrific. I think the cast of Will and Grace was terrific.
Yeah.
I think those are really, really crafted, wonderful comedic actors. And of course, all the girlfriends.
Of course. Oh, he's a smooth
There you
one.
go, baby.
How much money
Just give me the ring.
answer?
Because I know that's right.
Do you think comedy's changed over the years, though? Because you had shows like, let's say, maybe, I don't know, I Love Lucy or...
Absolutely.
Yeah, they
You know,
have.
comedy
It
has
was a little
shifted
more
completely.
innocent
has.
back then, or a little,
Yeah,
you know...
it has.
Well, television is shifted. I really want to say to you that people don't really realize is that we are in a golden age of television. It's brilliant TV is being played out right now, and we're going to remember this even better than some feature films. But
And
television
it's
is
probably, what, Monday at 9:30 on CW? Is
9
that what it's...
o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Watch it.
That's what brilliant TV is being played out.
but actually it's true. But television is actually divided into the dramas, the real dramas like 24 and CSI and Law and Order. And then you go to the real sitcoms like The Office and 2.5 Men and those type of shows. And then in the middle is the most popular shows that we see, which is a mix of drama and comedy, which is Grey's Anatomy, Boston Legal, Brothers and Sisters. Those shows are very popular, and they're asking the actors not just to be good dramatic actors, but they're also asking them to be comedic actors. Would you say that's true?
I would, and in particular with Girlfriends. One of the things as an African American is that there's not any drama on television. We haven't gotten to that point yet that people want to see us do drama. So with Girlfriends, the great thing about the show is that we have funny, and we also have those,
poignancy. You have a lot of poignancy in that show.
And the drama.
But yet you
in it.
have black movie stars, male action leads. And
we have that. But there's
There's
show
no
that's centered
African
around.
American brothers and sisters.
No, and there were never. I don't want to say there never will be, and hopefully we'll get to a place where there will be a show that people want to see us do that.
Soul Food was as close as you got to it on
and then
Showtime.
it didn't. Yeah, and then it
was there for a while.
For a while, and then it went to BT, But so it's nice with Girlfriends that they've put both in this sitcom. It's a dramedy. We have moments where it's very serious, and then there's moments where it's a sitcom. So we get to do that on the show and get to show the world that we can do both.
Right.
You know,
It's fun to play too.
and it's great to play.
You know, and reality is both comedy and drama.
That's right.
Do you have all 8 characters of comedy on Girlfriends?
You have a
Are they-
logical, smart one.
The logical smart one would be Joan, who is played by Tracy Ellis Ross.
The lovable loser.
Would be Lynn, who's played by Persia White.
Do you have a neurotic on the show?
Neurotic is Joan too. She's both. So
what's Reggie?
Reggie is neurotic.
Yes,
also.
I think Reggie is the neurotic. That's what I was
see,
going to say.
But the neurotic, which is funny because Reggie is definitely neurotic. His William plays that. Or now I've said Reggie. William is the character. Reggie plays William. But the thing, Joan has a bit of that in her too. She's very neurotic, but she's the logical, smart one also.
Well, it's like Will. Will's the logical, smart one. He's the voice of reason of the
he's
show.
also-
But what happens is to add more conflict, which adds more comedy.
That's right.
You go into another character like the neurotic, and
That's
Will
right.
and Will and Grace becomes the neurotic.
That's
but
right.
basically, at the center of that particular show, he is the logical, smart one.
That's
He is
right.
the voice of reason. He is us, the audience.
That's right.
Do you have a womanizer on the show? Or
The
a
woman,
manizer?
that used to be the character Tony, played by Jill Marie Jones, but she wanted to move on, so she's no longer on there. So we don't have that type.
Sexually charged
Yes.
character?
No, we don't have that
Yet.
because who knows, a character could evolve into that, or someone may come on and but right now that character has because of her how do I say, because she is that way, that character, so that character moved away.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Because she was always horny?
Well, horny and mean. And
Where did
Found a
she
better
move to?
place for
And
Can we find out right now?
and self-absorbed. So it's
Yes.
it's like the logical smart one had to move on.
Right.
So because it's been on for 7 years.
She got out of town.
Right.
Yeah, you either find a way to change that character, starts to mold, which she did, and then characters grow up and move on. So.
Exactly. They do.
We will be right back with Keesha Sharp from Girlfriends and Scott Sedita, author of The 8 Characters of Comedy. We'll be right back.
Not the 9.
Physical comedy. We're back with Keesha Sharp from Girlfriends and Scott Sedita, author of The 8 Characters of Comedy.
The best things happen during commercials.
Yeah, we had a little slapstick here, or physical comedy.
You missed it.
So, well, we have to talk about Monica. She is.
Oh.
Which of the 8 types?
Well, she's the materialistic bitch.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is. She's changing.
I'm sorry, Keesha. I've tried to get people to say it as many times today as possible.
I think she's
you know.
getting less of the bitch, a little more materialistic. Because the materialistic one is divided into 2 categories, like Hilary Banks from Fresh Prince was the one, a materialistic one. But she was, naive to poverty, where someone like Suzanne Sugarbaker or a Paris Hilton type, as they call it in the industry, is a little more judgmental. So I think, though, that your particular character is kind of going to more of a vulnerable space.
They're doing that. They're showing that side of her now.
Which is good, which is fun to play.
Yeah.
But it's finding the funny in the vulnerability too,
That's
by
right.
the way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It was interesting, though, you both said the same thing, that you said that, and you told me you haven't read his book. I'm sure you will right after the taping.
Oh, hello?
But you said that, that they were exploring where that bitchiness came from. And you said the same kind of thing in the book, that, there's something that's driving that, that...
Yeah, you have to find out why that person, you can't just say, I'm a bitch, I'm going to play a bitch.
Right.
You have to say, why is she that way? Because underneath that, what's funny is that underneath all of that, there is some vulnerability.
There's a sense of insecurity. There's also, it's kind of funny because I do believe that we are all born with something inside of us. I call her my favorite little bitch, but on Roseanne, it's true. Darlene.
You were talking about Monica, were you?
I know, but Darlene on the Roseanne at 12 years old was incredibly cynical and pessimistic at such an early age. Where did she get that from? Maybe ancestral pain that she inherited? I mean,
you did say ancestral.
Yes.
Yeah.
I almost thought you said ancestral.
No,
but
no.
Like that
Ancestral, yes. Not, please, oh my God.
You know the kind of world we live in today.
Well, if anybody can make it funny, it's Gregory. Okay, moving on. So anyway, that character, though, the character of the bitch has a cynical, pessimistic, so you have to tap into your own cynicism and pessimism. And they don't suffer fools well, bitches, either. They're intolerant of people who are pretentious. They'll call you on it and they'll tell it like it is.
Yeah.
That's why we love all those characters like Carla, who are on Cheers, she was a bitch. And that's why we love you. And we'll be right back.
Yeah, exactly. Hold that, folks. Well, in our final few minutes here, I thought, since, you've got the whole sitcom thing going on, and Scott, you've launched careers and trained so many people, and you're doing reality shows every time I turn around. How do people make it in town?
There's 3 things: talent, perseverance, and confidence. And when I mean talent, I'm going to go back to you have to have the acting gene first to start, and then you study your craft. Would you say that's true?
And I think the way you said it is perfect, because you can have all the talent in the world and not make it.
Because you don't put yourself out there.
Yeah, you have to. And in order to do that, you have to have confidence, because this business can tear you down. You have to know when you don't get something, it's just not meant to be. It's not a reflection on you. That's right. It's not a reflection, because we're all opened as actors. You're emotionally got them all out. Emotions hanging all out. I was like, you got them all out. I'm like, what show you doing?
And you do have it all.
But you have to have the confidence to know that that wasn't for me. Otherwise, you'll start breaking down, and you break, and then you might as well just leave the business. So you have to.
A lot of people do. A lot of people feel the first signs of rejection and then close down, and you can't.
Well, I think what you said in the book is that you have to keep focused on the fact that no matter how many no's you get, I mean, that one can be so life-changing. All that yes is all, you can have 300 no's, but that one yes is.
And the most important thing also, really quick, is that you love what you do.
What you do.
If you don't love it, you're in trouble, because you may not be famous, you may not make it, but if you love what you do, that's what counts.
The intention always should be, I want to do something that makes me happy, instead of I want to become a star. I say to people who come to LA and want to be stars, they say, get on a reality show, you'll have your 15 minutes of fame, and then you can go home.
That's right.
Are the reality shows really cutting into the sitcoms? And
I think reality shows are cutting into television, but you know,
It's a place for
I think there's not going to be in the next 5 years as much as I think there'll be the Survivor, the American Idol, but it's getting down. So.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both very much for being here today. Keesha
Thank
Sharp
you.
from Girlfriends,
Thank you.
Monday at 9 o'clock on
the
CW.
That's right.
Thank you, Scott.
And I
very
do like
much.
your shirt.
You like my shirt? Just
not on you.
pants. Scott's book is The 8 Characters of Comedy. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.
He had to
No, it
leave
looks
with a
great.
joke.
It
He
looks
had to
great.
leave
I'm
with a
sorry.
joke.
I'm sorry.
I should have held for the laugh.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Reflection never goes, but I don't understand why it haunts me. Nothing I see completes me. I don't really like what I see when I look in the mirror. Sometimes I really don't like what I see. Drink another glass of wine, all alone. Looking back at me. Maybe I should just... I can hear him speaking.